Very good afternoon to one and all. In today's session, we are going to discuss on the nature and importance of capital budgeting. So, in the previous session, I was explaining you about what is capital budgeting. A small recap on the previous session. So, we have seen what is capital budgeting. It means how we have been deploying your funds in the long term asset. That is what we have seen as a capital budgeting, right? So, how long you have been investing your amount no in order to yield a return for your future period. That is what called as a capital budgeting. We have seen example like how much you have been investing in the fixed asset, what sort of amount you have been investing in the R&D, and the amount of investment in expansion plan, modernization plan. So all this is what we have seen as a capital budgeting. So capital budgeting is something which is related to capital expenditure, and in today's session we are going to discuss on the nature and importance of a capital budgeting. So among it, the first one is a heavy investment. As I have already told you, capital budgeting is not something like a small amount of money is involved. Obviously, since the amount the amount would be huge. It is not a smaller amount, it is a heavy investment. So we have to, as a financial manager, they should have a proper planning regarding the sources of funds, like how they are going to mobilize all those aspects. And capital budgeting is a permanent commitment of funds. That means once you have been invested, you cannot revert your entire amount. It would be blocked in the particular asset. Example, take in case if I am been planning to purchase a new unit. So once I have been purchased the new unit, all my money would be blocked in the particular unit. If I am been purchased a machine for 10 lakh rupees, so that 10 lakh will be blocked in the asset. So that is what called as a permanent commitment of funds. Permanent commitment of funds in the sense it involves always huge amount of money, as well as it always it is a nature of greater risk. So always a proper planning is essential whenever we have been going for a capital expenditure decision. And the other one is it also in long term effect on the profitability. That means if you are not been properly planned, it will influence your profitability. If you have been properly planning, then can increase the size of the business, you can increase the lifetime, and you can also increase the volume of your sales. So if you have been doing it in a proper way, automatically it will enhance your company's sales. In turn, you can increase your profitability and your company will also grow. So that is what long term effect on the profitability. Irreversible in nature. That means once you have been decided, you cannot reciprocate or you cannot reverse your idea. That is what called as a irreversible in nature. You cannot dispose without incurring with the losses. And the other thing is, always the decision making process would be difficult. Either if your decision is correct, obviously there will be more certainty, but in some cases when your decision is been not good enough, in that case the amount you have invested might be in a very big loss. So that is what it is difficult to make a investment decision, and always uncertainty prevails in the market. So that is what the nature of the capital budgeting. And we will also see what sort of obstacles we have been facing when we have been going for a capital expenditure or budgeting decision. Among it, the first one is a measurement problem. That means you cannot estimate, you always have difficult in estimating, so that is what called as a measurement problem. Okay, uh, it all based on the cost aspect, the benefit aspect, everything, it will not be certain, always it will be uncertain. There might be an increase in the cost aspect also, so all those will happen. And uncertainty, 100 percentage whatever you have been predicted or whatever you have estimated, as you will earn in a future period, that will not happen as per your plan. 100 percentage of forecasting is not possible, either 60 percentage or 70%, whatever you have been forecasted you can achieve. And the time element also plays a role in obstacles. Among it, capital expenditure, in the sense, as I've already told you, it's huge amount of investment, as well as it also involves the duration will also be huge. You cannot see the profit in a couple of days or in a couple of weeks. Once you have been invested your amount in some capital expenses, once you have been invested some amount in some long term assets, you could earn the benefit for after 5 years or after 3 years or 10 to 15 years or 20 to 30 years. So the main problem is your amount will be invested, but you would have not been got any return, that too for a stipulated period. So when the amount is higher, the risk would also be higher. So that is what we have been seeing in the obstacles of capital management. So friends, in today's session we have seen the nature and importance, and we have also seen the obstacles. Nature, we have discussed on it is a heavy investment, and once the funds has been permanently committed, it's been highly tough for the company. And long term profitability, always it will be influenced by the long term profitability, and it is irreversible in nature, and you can also not able to make the investment decision in a easy way. Obstacles, we have seen measurement problem would be an obstacle, uncertainty would be an obstacle, and time element is also being an obstacle. Thank you friends for listening to the video. Thank you.